going to hell, and you live in hell.
Let him who has understanding reckon the number of the beast. For it is human. Its number is 666.
On the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the chance may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Well, let me tell you, Holocaust demons, something else. Americans are getting rocked from sea to shining sea. Judgment is on your ass, and you're naked before the world. So it don't mean nothing to me, because all of the blood of the prophets is on your hands.
No, two, for the mere fact that you are doing it, this is your purpose and your meaning. You just got to take the shit more serious. What I'm trying to say is sometimes we hear, but we don't register. We don't process. So when I say you are the ones that are fortunate enough to tap into this knowledge when the whole world is crazy, you need to process that for a minute and understand the importance of that. First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. And so when I'm saying you need to process, you got to process that everything that you read in these books that you admire about the gods in the heaven and the gods in the universe, you must understand that that is nobody but you at this particular time. There's two realms of gods. That's the one that's dead, laying out like the body of Osiris. And there's the ones that's dead, but they're dead physically, as far as this physical body does not make them, they're not able to do the things that they once used to do when they were gods. But you are not dead mentally because you are rising up. And for the mere fact that you are trying to understand, you're trying to get this knowledge, trying to get this, and you're trying to understand the meaning of it all, that means your spirit is going through a ritual. You just take any adventure story. And you know, they had to go and they had to fight this particular person, they had to fight this particular person, and at the end of the movie, they get what they're supposed to get, and they are glorified. That's what's going on with you now as your struggle. So we had the mystery system that was in the last days. You had the mystery system. But the mystery systems are now closed down, and now your initiation that you become God is in your struggle. So for the mere fact that you are catching hell and going through this struggle, it's a form of initiation. But you must understand that what I'm saying to you is that the ones that the whole world is looking towards at this particular time, first of all, they're looking for the black people on the earth, the last realm of the sphere of the Kabbalah. Let me put this up. For those people know we go for the long haul. For the ones that have to leave, we give you knowledge, you get full up, and you know you leave, and if you miss, you always can come back and get the tape. For the ones that want to stay, people know who's been to the lectures and all. We don't let out early and all, and stuff. But the point is what I'm trying to make here is the realm, you got to understand the concept of the God that you are searching for is yourself. And the God that everybody is dependent on at this particular time is a few people in Atlanta, which is you. A few people in New York, a few people in Philadelphia, a few people in Chicago, a few people in all the major cities, which is less than 1%, and a few people scattered out in the rural areas. And those are the light bringers that you're talking about, the great old ones. So you have to understand this concept. The other concept you got to understand, a God, whatever you do as a God, there is no chastisement for it. I'll explain to you. You got to stop thinking like a human and start thinking like a God. You see which one? The crayon? Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. You know the whole deal. You have to start thinking this way because, okay, here it is. You have to start thinking this way because I'm telling you, the reason, what is the hold up is that the actual gods do not realize they're gods. There's a good movie you need to get. There's a good movie you need to get. You need to get a movie called A Never Ending Story. You thought it was a child movie. And he gets this little book and he goes through this adventure. And at the end of the movie, midway of the movie, they say, hell, coming to find out that the little boy that was reading the book of all these magnificent heroes, the other boy on the other side who was going through all the trial was him. And they said, and at the end they said, well, hell, our world is falling down because he doesn't believe in himself. It's all about you. That's the key. You can't, that's the key. This is the real knowledge. There's a mystery of the world, and the mystery of the world is look for no God to save you but yourself because it's within you. It's within you. It's just that the devil came down about 2,000 years ago, basically, when we get into this, and he made you start worshiping him so you would not cultivate the energy within you. And that's your slavery and your real bondage. And this is the key what we have to deal with here. Because, I mean, we go through, we see things on TV and we see this shit and we say, when is this shit over with? But the key is, in the 60s, we didn't have this knowledge. In the 70s, we didn't have this knowledge. In most of the 80s, we didn't have this knowledge. You see what I'm saying? We only had a few people talking about it in the past years before that, and we all thought they were crazy. But now, we have the knowledge. As a matter of fact, some people saying, you know, they say things like, too much knowledge is dangerous to the untrained ear. That's not true. What is happening here is this. The knowledge is here. Now, there is no more secrets. There is no more secret societies that's holding back knowledge. You see, the white boy understood that they would keep people dead long enough until they would be so dead until there will come a time where they would be so much immersed in ignorance until they can give them knowledge and they will reject knowledge. And that's when you start putting out all the knowledge. That's why you go to your family members and they reject the shit. And mainly you. So they know that most black people reject this. I don't want to hear that black shit. I don't want to hear that shit, that old crazy voodoo shit. So because they reject it, now they can put the stuff out. So there is no more such thing as secrets. The secret is that the masses of the people hate knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So as of around 1985, they knew that the people would reject knowledge because they knew you rejected it in the 70s and the 60s. So they said, now we can put all the stuff out that we had held for the last 140 years that we dug up around the world. And as a result, that's why we only have less than 1% of the amount of people that really bears witness to what the hell is going on. You see. So, as we say, let's see. Let me get this right. Yeah, we don't need a big thing. Just need enough. When you're dealing with the, let's open up my bag. And when you're dealing with the, I got to pour libations. I'm getting ahead of myself, but, you know, while stuff is on your mind, it's best to say it before you get too far in it. And, you know, so when you're dealing with the spear of the Kabbalah, and there's several spears of the Kabbalah, which is nothing but your physical body is the real mystery behind this, is your physical body. There's several trees of life. Everybody can see this? There's several trees of life. This is the heaven realm. And all these realms are on their way down to here. Because this is called Malkuth. Malkuth, the daughter. Can you see it? You can't see it at all. Huh? Make it bigger. Okay, hold up. In order to make it bigger, let's see, we're going to have to go back. Let's see. Let's see how far we can go back with this thing. Let's see here what we can do. What's on this other side here? Nope. That's dim. Let's see. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now, all I have to do now is either push it up. Nope. Push it back. Now, we you know. You can't see it at all on the screen yet? Huh? What, these? Oh, yeah, hit the... Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Now, that means that you must understand that everything here, which is Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, the moon, the sun, all of the spheres is going to end up right here at the bottom sphere, which is you. So that means all the energy in the universe is going to come within you and on the earth realm. So that's when they say that the gods in heaven, the man on earth say God is on high, but the angels in heaven say that God lives on earth. That means that everything is waiting on one group of people. The lost nation of Israel, or what you would just call basically, because all of Israel is lost, Isis, Ra, and El, which just means black people, and all black people are lost. From Maine to Spain, from down Africa to Russia, because we got black people in all those places. Basically, they're talking about the ancient race, and that one seed. So when you're talking about this, the whole universe now is waiting on you. And they're especially waiting, and they know that the masters of those are dead. So that means there's only one people in the universe that's the most important now, and that's the black people that's waiting now. And basically, that's what you have with the little small cluster in one small community in the United States of America, basically because the knowledge is here more than it is other places. Other places are not privy to the knowledge. They can't go to a bookstore and buy the actual knowledge or rent videos and different things. So whether we're taking advantage or not, the knowledge is here, so we're talking about you. And that's the key when we're talking about the Christ form. So what we're going to do is we're going to post for the libations. And remember now, I tell you what, I'm going to give out my damn phone number. So y'all call me, let's see, that's my shit due on the 5th. Y'all call me on the 5th and ask me, say, well, listen, did you make your rent? So if you're concerned and all, and I'll let you know, well, okay, cool, I did it and all, whatever the deal is. But I'm going to give out my phone number so that way you know, whatever the deal is. If you can't you can't provide me with anything, tell me a space or something I can go and squat in and shit, whatever the deal is. Now, so basically, what we're going to do is we're going to turn to this particular page in this book, and I always use this one because it's going to be on page, this book, A Kabbalah for a Modern World, and we'll explain. This is the tree of life. Most people, when they start studying the Kabbalah, they're just thinking it's this, but this is just the formation of the book. And so A Kabbalah of a Modern World, which is actually talking about the energies within your body, which is the mystery. In here they have a list of the gods that correspond to each other, so I like to use this one. And also, where's my water? Okay, this is cool. All right, you know the drill. You got to know ancient shining ones, or you sold out? Yeah. Keva, Ashe, Shakma, Ashe Bina, Ashe Jesed, Ashe Deborah, Ashe Tipperet, Ashe Natsad, Ashe Had, Ashe Yased, Ashe Dar, Ashe Malkut, Ashe Ain, Ashe Ain Sa'ah, Ashe Oseh, Ashe Aset, Ashe Tahudi, Ashe Mayat, Ashe Patah, Ashe Sut, Ashe Ra, Ashe Amun-Ra, Ashe Anpu, Ashe Het-Heru, Ashe Aset, Ashe Nebhert, Ashe, let's see, Kinti Amenti, Ashe Kinti Erti, Ashe Kefra, Ashe Cones, Ashe Earthris, Ashe Amuthis, Ashe Raheru Kahudi, Ashe Harpocrats, Ashe Heru Raha, Ashe Mim, Ashe Minavith, Ashe Muntu, Ashe Mintu, Ashe Sashet, Ashe Sekmet, Ashe Selket, Ashe Vasheshetu, Ashe Aether, Ashe Uraeus, Ashe Rhea, Ashe Zeus, Ashe Ares, Ashe Apollo, Ashe Aphrodite, Ashe Hermes, Ashe Demeter, Ashe Demeter, Ashe Yima, Ashe Odin, Ashe Frigda, Ashe Balda, Ashe Laki, Ashe Thar, Ashe Freya, Ashe Freya, Ashe Thirf, Ashe Nerthus, Ashe Brahmin, Ashe Vishnu, Ashe Bravini, Ashe Ramachandra, Ashe Shakti, Ashe Sita, Ashe Indra, Ashe Sita, Ashe Hanuman, Ashe Lakshmi, Ashe Buddha, Ashe Krishna, Ashe Damawalawedo, Ashe Marasha, Ashe Bridget, Ashe Adam Guerti, Ashe Ogu Farelli, Ashe Ogu Shengo, Ashe Azuli, Ashe Legba, Ashe Edawedo, Ashe Zaka, Ashe Papagede, Ashe Oshosi, Ashe Ogun, Ashe Obatala, Ashe Ishu, Ashe Alafi, Ashe Adudawa, Ashe Arunla, Ashe Ogun, Ashe Shengo, Ashe Oshun, Ashe Legba, Ashe Imija, Ashe Arisha Oko, Ashe Oya, Ashe. You want to put that there? What you said? Ashe Dambo Babalu Aye, Ashe. Olakun, Ashe. Ashe. Okay. Ipe, Ashe. Loa, Ashe. What's that? Ori, Ashe. Orishas, let's say. Ashe. Okay. Now, that's the ones in there. Let's see if we think of some more right now. Raziel, Ashe. Haniel, Ashe. Bubiel, Ashe. Lachmiel, Ashe. Gabriel, Ashe. Elijah, Ashe. Atam, Ashe. Atan, Ashe. Atam Gwerdi, Ashe. Let's see. Okumi, Ashe. Kutumi, Ashe. Shanat Kumara, Ashe. Melchizedek, Ashe. Sutek, Ashe. Sut, Ashe. Sutnebit, Ashe. Sutnusi, Sutnubit, Ashe. Suthar, Ashe. Nut, Ashe. Apit, Ashe. Tyre, Ashe. Layla, Ashe. Gaya, Ashe. Marduk, Ashe. Tiamat, Ashe. Rastafari, Ashe. Cthulhu, Ashe. Hastar, Ashe. Albathos, Ashe. Yog-Sathos, Ashe. Nilahotep, Ashe. Dagon, Ashe. Shub-Niggurath, Ashe. Great old ones, Ashe. Great ones, Ashe. Let's see. Let's keep on. Ashe. Elijah Muhammad, Ashe. Oh, I want to get these in. Thunderdog, Ashe. Thunderbird, Ashe. Great Sun Bear, Ashe. White Buffalo, Ashe. Ashe. Patah Neta Unra, Ashe. Okay, give me some more. Awas, Ashe. Muewas, Ashe. Muaivas, Ashe. Ovas, Ashe. Ashe. Tupac Shakur, Ashe. Ashe. Give me some more. Well, you say, okay, let's do these for the ancestors. For all gods known and unknown, Ashe. Okay, the Shaw family, Ashe. The Hemmitt family, Ashe. The Davis family, Ashe. All my family members, Ashe. Okay, now when I count to 3, 1, 2, 3, start calling out your ancestors. 1, 2, 3. Ashe. 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 To all gods known and unknown. Ashe. To all ancestors known and unknown. Ashe. Okay. Now, we got that out of the way. Remember, like I said, the main book that you want to get that's going to give you all the gods from around the world is Ancient Shining One, D.J. Conway, which, might I add, is a woman, come to find out. D.J. Conway is a woman also, too. So we want to deal with those things. Okay, we want to, let's see what we're going to do. Okay, this is the one we're going to do here. Let's see. Okay, here it is. This is what we want to do. This is one aspect of assuming the Christ form, which is a ritual. Which, if you all want to stand and do this, this is like putting energy in yourself and assuming the Christ which is in you. So that's like tapping into the melanin. For those people who want to participate, just stand up right quick and we just read this thing and you repeat after me. You ready? Hear me, O Lord.
Hear me, O Lord.
Thou art the first and the last.
Thou art the first and the last.
The beginning and the end.
The beginning and the end.
The Alpha and the Omega.
The Alpha and the Omega.
Who are the nameless and the formless ones.
Who are the nameless and the formless ones.
Creator of all.
Creator of all.
Lord of light.
Lord of light.
Lord of life.
Lord of life.
Lord of love.
Lord of love.
Hear my prayer.
Hear my prayer.
Thou true son and daughter.
Thou true son and daughter.
And I ask that thou look with favor upon this ritual.
And I ask that thou look with favor upon this ritual.
Of the assumption of the heavenly Christ.
Of the assumption of the heavenly Christ.
Aid me in my becoming.
Aid me in my becoming.
I seek rebirth in thy light.
I seek rebirth in thy light.
Aid me in my becoming.
Aid me in my becoming.
I seek perfection in thy sight.
I seek perfection in thy sight.
Aid me in my becoming.
Aid me in my becoming.
Clothe me in white raiment.
Clothe me in white raiment.
In my crown of gold. No, excuse me. Let's see. Crown me with gold.
Crown me with gold.
Set me upon the throne of mercy.
Set me upon the throne of mercy.
And with the white horse of judgment.
And with the white horse of judgment.
Into my right hand place the scepter of rule.
Into my right hand place the scepter of rule.
In my left hand place the sword of law.
In my left hand place the sword of law.
Anoint me with my secret names of power.
Anoint me with my secret names of power.
So let it be.
So let it be.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, now that's pretty badass ritual there. I'm gonna sell these babies for like $2. And it's about that's just one aspect. There's about 7 pages, and it goes through this whole thing, and it gives you all the different names of your particular Christ energy names and stuff. Because the Christ who is to come is within you, whether it be Obatala in Yoruba, whether it be Ishu in Yoruba, whether it be also that would be also in Vodun, whether it would be the Christos in Greece, the Christ in Egypt, or the Christ in Egypt, the Buddha in Hinduism. The buffalo, the white buffalo, is a form of the Christ in Native American, and whether all around the world. And that's the problem that we got here, is the devil came in and told you of a historical Christ who did not exist. Who did not exist. And that's the problem that we have at this particular time. So now let me go through some things that's going on, because you know it's a beautiful day. And see, the thing about it is the white boy knew back in April that white people had started asking this question, saying this is some bullshit. So they came out and had scholars in Newsweek, Time, and USA Today talking about the search of Jesus. Who was he? And he still got that crack on here in 1996, you see what I'm saying? Who is he? His life and his meanings. So what it means is, and they got all these scholars trying to say that he did exist. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason. We're going to explain that. If people have problems with that, we need to explain that to the fullest. You see what I'm saying? Because that is a political move to take the gnosis or the knowledge or the light from the ancient people and put them in slavery. And that's what it is. And so we're going to deal with that particular part also, too. So right now what I'm going to do is, we're going to go through a little bit of, what's that? Oh, that reminds me, too. Okay. Yeah, so let's go into some things. First of all, a brother got a channel from Tupac. He got a channel from Tupac, and it's interesting. Soon as he was released from the physical body, he knew all his ancient knowledge, and he came down and was talking as what happens. The physical body is what keeps you locked in where you don't know the knowledge. So soon as he was released, he knew a certain amount of knowledge, and he came to this brother, was telling the brother, hey man, there is no more such thing as a time is over. It's just a matter of when the damn room gets filled up. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like if it's over and somebody done brought in the damn fish tank, you're just waiting for the fish tank to get filled up, so it don't correspond with physical dates, because you can't really put a date on it, but you can understand the season, and we are in it now, and it's damn near over. You can tell when you're getting closer to the door. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on here. The same way I can tell when it's closer to rent time and shit. But anyway, he said that, but I'm going to tell you one of the other reasons about Tupac is Tupac Tupac said himself, and he told her, the sister, he said, well, I got killed based on my ego. And it's interesting because now all of a sudden they're trying to deify him and stuff like this. And we always do that. You see, try to deify people and stuff. And saying, you know what, he could have been another Malcolm X. Now let's be realistic about this shit. Tupac Shakur was as far as them being another Malcolm X as a hog from the damn moon. But anyway, what happened was with Tupac is he had a certain amount of energy with him that kept him alive because he got shot all up the last time. But people don't know this. In June, the guards say, okay, you on your own, because Tupac did something that other rap artists never did before. And that was Tupac made a damn video in the back seat with Jodeci, in the back seat of a limo with all these goddamn white women all over his ass. All over his ass. And he got called on it, and he rushed back in and did another video of the same song where he got these black women on stage and him and Jodeci on stage. But where Tupac messed up was Tupac was in the back of a damn limousine with all these white women all over his ass. Anybody saw this video? So what the hell is going on here? You got to realize one thing about the rap culture. One thing you can say about the rap culture, they never was that whole Prince interracial type bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They would have white people in the video, like they have a pool party. You know, you invite there's some white girls that come over, because in real life, you have a party, you might have some white people that come over, you know what I'm saying, and y'all getting, you know, they have a party going on, you know, you got a club, you got white people up in there. So you notice they always did that, but none of the rappers ever really got intimate with these white women or whatever type thing. So when he was in the back of that doggone limousine, it showed the intimacy. And he got called on it because he rushed back in, and the video played for about a month. And then he rushed back in, and he had to change and do the same song. So, you know, sometimes they do another video, it's a dub mix, you know, but he did the same song over, and I said, oh, he got called on it. You see what I'm saying? So even though he got called on it, it showed the true essence of how some of our people are when they talk all the talk and don't walk the walk. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no way in hell you gonna talk and talk about how he said about the ghetto and all this kind of thing, but ain't nobody showing that video when he was around here with them doggone crackers all up in the back seat of his damn car, hugging up with them damn white women. You see what I'm saying? And so as a result of that, the spirits backed off from his ass, and so the next time they pulled up on him, he didn't have the energy. And it was interesting because one brother said that the brother needed a certain amount of spiritual essence around him, and see all that damn counting money, and I got this many hoes, and I got this much stuff. That shit ain't working no more. You see what I'm saying? So we can say all we want about it, because naturally we say good things about people when they dead. But that's not reality. And the reality is Tupac crossed the line with the spiritual world when he fucked up and put that beast in the backseat of the car. Why? Because we understand that rap music has the impulse of the black youth. And rap is done good for one reason. There's a lot of negative things that went on with rap, but you must understand this part about rap. The rappers never really had all them damn white women around them. Now, our funk stars and rock and roll stars and all them blues stars, they always had them. Because they complained about Cameo back in 1986. They had that word up. They had all these white women in the damn video. But my point is the rappers came in because it was not associated with being hard. You understand what I'm saying? And having the doggone little Betty from goddamn Buckhead in your shit. Use the expression. So what happened was when he did that, that crossed the line. Even your boy, when he was shaking the booty and all this kind of thing, here your boy from Miami, and even though we know that it did defile the black woman, they didn't have that white woman up in there. You see what I'm saying? It's one thing to have that beast up in your stuff. What message is that giving to a little boy? Now, Tupac is the number where everybody loves him. It's just one thing to have a rapper that nobody know about. But here's a man that everybody loves, and you're going to go and put this video out with all these white women in your stuff. What message is this sending? You see what I'm saying? And you know what? Isn't it funny? Now shit is actually beginning to, we say something 1 month, next month stuff is starting to doggone bear witness. So we said that they was going to raise up both Dennis Rodman and your other boy, RuPaul, and now both of them got TV shows coming on. RuPaul got a TV show coming on VH1, and Dennis Rodman has one coming on this fall on MTV. You see, they're raising up the big freak type thing. Yeah, plus, you know, on the first RuPaul show, what he doing? He kissing Dennis Rodman. Now, what kind of symbolism is that? A black man in 1996, two black men on the damn TV kissing each other. That's some foul stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about, and we're not in the job of bashing somebody for their sexual preference and stuff, because really, in actuality, the guards and the whole thing down here is fucked up, period. There ain't no morals, there ain't nothing down here, but the key is we understand the blueprint on what the white man is trying to do. You see what I'm saying? What the white man is trying to do. Now, you see every time you turn around, like they say, they got the sisters freaking in every doggone thing. You see what I'm saying? So that's interesting, too. Now, it's interesting because we got some new information. First of all, we know that the whole O.J. thing is back. Now, I told you, and it's funny, and this is the funny part about it, how stuff play out. Now, I told you last year that we had found that the O.J. Simpson trial, let me see if I can find this book. I think I put it in here. The O.J. Simpson was an ancient trial that they talked about, this great trial that would be held in Egypt in the last days, where they would try to mess the credibility of the black man up. So don't look at O.J. as the figure. Black people was on trial, right? And so this ancient trial, it was verbatim, but it was interesting because in this trial that they talk about, which is in the section of this book. In this book, which is a valuable book, From Fetish to God of Ancient Egypt by E. Wallace Budge, in the back of this book, they have papyruses out of the British Museum. This is the last book of his life, Budge, and so he decided to give up all these papyruses that he was actually writing all his books from. So in the back of this book, there's several papyrus, like the winged disc of Heru of Edfu, which is talking about if you didn't have the melanin, they cut off your head, which you get the movie Highlander from. You see what I'm saying? They say only one can be the Highlander, or the blood of kings running through you. So in this particular section of the papyrus in the back of this book, that when you see the legend of Heru Behutet, of the winged disc of Edfu, they're talking about if you didn't have that black dot, they would cut off your head. And in the legend of Heru Behutet is an ancient word for melanin. It means the black dot or the black circle that we're talking about here, or the black dot or the black circle, which we give a figure of the Gnostic Christ Abraxas, and it gives you the black dot also right here in the wings and the Kundalini energy and all of this too. Which we have several things of the black dot. And like I said, I always like to put this one up here because, you know, that's how your spirit looks outside of the body. And like I said before, some of you people, you might have seen some of these things some night that you see a black silhouette and stuff. That's actually a person. And it can take different forms and stuff, but that's how you look. And so based on the people in England, based on the occultists in England, they're saying if you don't look like this, then in actuality you ain't real or you ain't the gods. So therefore we know how that is. But listen. But we do know that in here there's a trial in the part called the Contendings of Horus and Set. Wherever you want to go. The Contendings of Horus and Set. And in there, well, there's a chair here if you want to, or whatever. In here, in the Contendings of Horus and Set, they talk about an ancient trial. But it's interesting now, as so, the devil in here, which is the doggone white boy, he loses the trial. Just as on August the 3rd of 1995, he lost the trial because, number one, that's 10 and 3, which is 13, which is his unlucky number in the first damn place. But anyway, he lost the trial. But in the back of the book, they said that he begs the people, he begs the gods. When the devil loses, he said, no, I want a second trial. Now, what are the odds of that shit? Say, I want a second trial, which he ends up losing anyway. So it don't necessarily mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that OJ is going to win the trial. But what it does mean is that basically, this second trial is showing you that this beast is so much of a beast that he can't forget certain amount of things. Now, in 1936 or 35 or 36, they had another crime of the century where they killed this white boy, that Jew boy, for the Limburg baby. Now and all of a sudden now they brought this movie out, The Crime of the Century. And where the white boy literally killed this person because they needed somebody. And because he was this Jew person that they didn't like. Now, isn't it funny that almost, 60 years later they would have another trial, you see what I'm saying, of the same magnitude, and call it the trial of the century, and that was called the crime of the century. You see, very, very key, and nothing is by chance when they do certain amount of things like that. Nothing is by chance. But isn't it funny how these people cannot bring themselves to believe that this man is innocent? You see what I'm saying? Is innocent. And basically, the reason why they can't bring themselves to believe this man is innocent, because they can't bring themselves to believe that they're so arrogant to say that no one could ever plant evidence. Although they can make movies about their white boys and little children getting planted and getting framed by the police, but a black man can't be framed. That's what you're talking about, a sociopathic type of incident. Now, the key to this thing is that we got new evidence that's actually going on, and the new evidence is that what you're dealing with here is that the main person that was involved in the killing was actually Cato Kalin. This is the new shit. Cato Kalin is the one that gave him the gloves, gave him the boots, and gave him all the stuff. You see what I'm saying? And also we understand that he did this particular information. He gave him this particular information for the simple fact that he was planted there in the get-go to do the whole 9 yards and cooperate with the police. That's how they knocked on the door. He's the one that put the bloody sock in the living room. Cato Kalin is the biggest part of this thing. But what the government did and what they do to fool you, they made Cato Kalin as he's this dunce, this homeless house fella. You see what I'm saying? That's just like this valley boy that's stupid. See, they always do this to throw you off. See, that's what they did when they give you a Bill Clinton. They say he's stupid and all this kind of thing, and they do this stuff to throw you off. You see what I'm saying? So you thinking, okay, no, he's a so stupid homeless person. He's the main person around this thing. So like I said before, they released the movie The Chase, which we have to go in and and you need to go to the public library and you need to find out, you look on the Friday edition. You look on the Friday edition, let's say somewhere around June or April. And you need to find out when was the movie The Chase, that starred, what's his name, Charlie Sheen. You need to find out when did this movie actually come out, because this particular movie came out, I think, a month before the actual chase scene of the Bronco. You see what I'm saying? And a month before Nicole died. You see what I'm saying? And then what happened was he's being chased, and they got the TV cameras and all this, and then what happened? They said, well, he said, I was accused of something I didn't do. I was an innocent person. He said, what happened? He said, but they accused me, and I got time because they expected O.J. Simpson to get time. That was the guards that intervened. He said, I got time because I had a cut on my hand, and they took the DNA from the cut on my hand and convicted me. Now, what are the odds? It's no coincidence. What are the odds of they having this movie come out, and he's getting convicted with the cut on his hand, and they got the chase scene in the movie cameras, which the movie came out. How can this cracker can take a movie and actually make a movie of what he's going to do a month before, release it a month before, and then do the exact same thing the next month? You see what I'm saying? So he did this, and in this particular movie, what makes this movie authentic is that who was supposed to be the best man at Charlie Sheen, the star of this movie's wedding? Kato Kaelin. See what I'm saying? So now the movie goes out of just a theory type thing, and you just putting two and two together to a reality that it was a setup from the get-go. And Kato Kaelin is the doggone key. You see what I'm saying? On side of he was screwing around with Nicole and stuff, you know. But hell, she screwed Faye Resnick and all this kind of shit. So who the fuck is she? You know what I'm saying? And all this type of stuff. So the whole thing was set up. And so that movie, The Chase. Also, there's certain things that you got to understand in investigative reporting. Another movie, Natural Born Killers, came out it came out about a month or 3 weeks after the killing. Came out like the 1st of August. You go to the periodicals, and you get the newspaper periodicals, and you can go to the movie section and find out when is the release dates of The Chase and of Natural Born Killers. So it came out around August. Now, it's interesting about this movie, we would not even ever have thought about this movie, because when I saw the movie when it first came out, and it didn't register until I saw the movie on cable about a month ago. Now, here's a movie that comes out in August, a month after the killing. He hadn't even gone to trial yet, but yet they will flash his picture along with Charles Manson's picture. Now, wait a minute. We can't. So most of the people will look, and so people will look now and say, oh, they got O.J. up there, and they don't know about the release date. Now, it's funny if the movie came out this year and they did it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we know they're bitter about the trial. But how are you going to put this man as a mass murder up against Charles Manson? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, the brother fell out. Oh, man. Let's see what happened. I think the brother fell out back there. Huh? Is he out? Cut your tape for a minute. Is he all right? Let the brother sit down. He might have just got dizzy from standing up. Or then again, it might be the energy, too. Yeah, you need to go outside, brother? Are you all right? You think it's because of you standing up? It's, yeah. You might have just, sometimes when you stand up like that, hell, I get weak like that, too. Whatever. Get you some water or whatever. Then come on back, brother. You see. If you want to go outside, you want to come back or whatever, yeah, that's, sometimes standing up like that, just, or you can get a brother a seat, whatever. Or you can cut it back on. You cut it back on. You got it back on? So what I'm trying to say here is, what are the odds of them convicting this man and putting him against, the magnitude of putting him against doggone Charles Manson before the trial even started? You see what I'm saying? Before the trial even started. The movie Just Cause. So they had the movie Just Cause, and both Sean Connery and the guy Blair Underwood argued that, no, we didn't do this movie based on the O.J. Simpson trial because the book was written in 1982. Right? 1992. Right? But we understood that the whole thing, the O.J. Simpson thing, was nothing but a trial basis that spurned, and it was the second part of the Rodney King verdict in 1992. So if they went to work on this book, you got to understand that all these movies came out at the same time, and that's a whole system that they got, basically trying to undermine black life in America. Because one thing about black life, up until recently, black people was the moral authority of America, period. Even white people, if they say, well, we can't get shit to stick now unless we put some Negroes in it. You see what I'm saying? Because we went to church more than anybody else. So the key is to make the black person this particular freak, so therefore they can do what the hell they want to do with black people in the future. You see what I'm saying? So this is interesting. This particularly interesting. But the movie, The Chase is the movie that you need to see, which is documenting that the whole Cato Kalin, which was the best friend of Charlie Sheen, was all in on this movie. And that was the key movie to let you know on what they were going to do. They came around again. So they're always testing the market. So they came around again last year. We're just doing some recaps. And they said, well, now we know we got black people. Because they did something last year that was the most advanced and the most advanced thing that they could ever do. And that was to release the movie Outbreak 1 week, and 2 weeks later they actually have the outbreak of Ebola. Now what are the odds of that? And nobody even questioned it. So they do these to have a reaction from most of the people, because most of the people are not in consciousness. That's why you got to understand the beauty of the brothers and sisters that's in consciousness is it goes beyond just you being gods and nobody else. It goes beyond to say that it is because of you that the race has a chance. Although everything is going to be redeemed anyway. That's prophesied. But you got to understand, in the form of the redemption of us going to the higher levels, the whole race being redeemed, there's a group of people that is sent down to be the helpers. And those group of people, if you don't get anything, the reason why shit is holding back is because the ones in consciousness do not understand it. You are those people. That's the deal. You see what I'm saying? So now, instead of feeling good about your career and whether I made it, whether I got enough money, that's superficial shit, which is nothing anyway. Idiots have money. You see what I'm saying? The most diabolical people in the world have so-called, quote-unquote, made it. But the most important people on the planet is the one that received this knowledge to get the people out of this shit, and that is you. Okay? And this is the key. We got to keep constantly reminding ourselves. And it's an ongoing process. You got to remind yourself every day that I am the Christ which is to come, which the Holy Kabbalah tell you that you are. You see what I'm saying? And start thinking like a god and all. So now, let's go on. Another movie came out, Blue Skies, to show you the cult of America. Movie with Jessica Lange and Tommy Lee Jones. And the movie is dealing with, they dropped some nuclear testing there was nuclear testing in the 50s or whatever. And they saw there was two people that was farming out there on the horses. And they didn't tell the people to get out of the way, and they dropped the bomb anyway, and these people start coming down with all kind of stuff. So when Jessica Lange came out to tell the two people that the government is the one that is the reason for them coming down with all these ailments and this nuclear stuff, they said one thing in the movie. He said, no, my government didn't say they did this. And until my government says that that's what happened, I have to believe what the government says. Or I can't believe that the government will do this. That's showing you that the brainwashing techniques in America. So it's interesting. So movies like these that come out, it's small things, but it's major things also too. Check? It's major things also too. Now, what is the deal? Now the new shit is the drugs and the CIA. All that is a new plot to get you from thinking the other way. First of all, it's not the conscious people that knew this. Every fool from Alabama, Georgia, and down Mississippi knew that the government planted the drugs. Hell, I go to Mullins and people say, well, you know the whole thing. We ain't got no boats, no planes, and all. We've been saying that for 10 years. So everybody knew that the government is the one that planted the damn drugs in the community. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody knew this. They've had black, so-called, quote-unquote, black exploitation flicks that dealt with that. So why is it now, all of a sudden, we're so crazy until we couldn't take action 10 years ago? We got to wait till the white man validates it. Now, let's not be stupid with this mess. First of all, the government got shit that they did 100 years ago that you don't know about. Or you will find out 100 years later. You say, it was bad how they dropped them smallpox on the Indians and all this kind of shit. So you know damn well if the government, the way they are, whereas they can kill everybody that even think, hell, they can, if a person comes up and breaks some news in the newspaper, they can come in and jack that nigga up and put some and put some electrodes under his balls and some razor blades up his ass, and he'll print a retraction the next day. So obviously, if this particular information is getting out but they got information that will never get out. You understand what I'm saying? If this particular information is getting out where they put it on the news, and the news is run by the government, that means that the government is the one that is behind putting this information out. Now all the black bourgeoisie Negroes is running up to Washington, D.C. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why, so when you found out, hell, Farrakhan told them about that 10 years ago at Northwestern University, that the government is the #1 funder of the government is damn dope. Any fool know this, but you mean to tell me, now here it is, this is the sickness of it, because it's all a test. You so sick that you can't damn stand up as grown people, as spiritual people, and say, hell, we know the deal back in 1988, 1986, 1987, in 1990 when you finally realized the shit. We know the deal that you're the one that's putting it in. No, you got to wait till the damn white man documents it. And he always put the shit out, he always documents it 10 years too late. Too late now, you don't even know who. Hell, half the people could be dead. Hell, all the black people already in jail. Half of them dead now. Half of them will never be no good. So it's not the object to come in and say, oh, we got the information now that they did this, when the black, it's in the story. Hell, he done put your man in jail now, and he's ruined for life. You see what I'm saying? But that's the way they do it. They always come out with 10-year-old news. So this is old shit that they come out with now and bring it up now, and all the black people think, oh, this is the new shit. Oh, you heard about it 10 years ago, but now all of a sudden it's new on your mind because the white man said it, and life does not exist until the white man documented on his news for our people. So he brings it out now. Now, why is he bringing it out now? He's bringing it out now to basically counter his new thing, which is black body snatching, which is tons and tons, like I said before, tons of projects around the country that closed down, and you got black people in concentration camps. And as a result, we got at least 12 million black people in concentration camps. So to get you to stop thinking about that particular thing, he'll give you some old news about some crack and some shit that done happened, whereas they just disbanded Red Dog. Crack basically is damn near gone compared to what crack was 5 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you still got a little bit of crack, but I'm trying to say the crack epidemic is basically all the big people in jail. So he'll give you the old news on an old project that was successful to you to keep you off of the new project, basically, which is actually old news too. You see what I'm saying? But this is the project, he ain't got enough of you off the street yet, because he's coming down to the black bourgeoisie next. So it's in the middle of this project, and so boom, to keep people from finding out about it, he'll give you the old news about the crack cocaine of 10 years ago, and then actually come out and say, yeah, this is true. And he'll give you this to keep you off of what's going on now, which they're actually snatching your bodies. And the beautiful part about it is this. Now all of a sudden, the I told you so's is coming rapidly. So we got it documented on tape. I came out about a month ago, 2 months ago, and told you that they was taking the homeless and taking the what you call, you heard it on the radio, and taking the close down all the projects. The Spirit is showing you, because now this is one of the greatest times to understand that the Spirit is working for the simple doggone fact that the cracker in the middle of the conspiracy comes out with a movie Friday. The damn movie Extreme Measures. And he comes out with this movie Friday. And anybody go see the movie yet? We went to see the movie yesterday. And the movie is all of that. Because they start out with the homeless people. So they put a little bit of white people up in there to throw you off. But then again, on the other hand, like I told you before, they even doing this to pole crackers too. You see what I'm saying? That's their tough luck. Fuck them. See what I'm saying? Damn a redneck. We ain't getting no alliance with no beast and stuff. But here it is. This crazy nigga comes on the radio. We're not talking about you because you conscious. But we talking about the masses on the way we think. This crazy nigga on the radio talking about how they're putting people in concentration camps to do experiments. Right? To do experiments. So, all of a sudden, a month later, they come out with the actual movie. called Extreme Measures, where they show them taking the actual homeless. They say, well, why do you do the homeless? They say, or why you do poor people? See, that's a code word for niggers. You see what I'm saying? Why do you do poor people? Because nobody will miss them. You see what I'm saying? And they got this whole movie going on, so they'll give you the little technology about Paris Allegiant and all this type of stuff when you go see the movie. But basically, the movie, they can't tell you about the melatonin program. You see what I'm saying? About the melatonin program. But they will give you the information based on the information on what they actually do, and they had this whole thing going on in the movie, and you got to go see this movie. Go see the movie tomorrow. Go see it at the matinee or whatever, but you got to go see the movie, because now we're talking about they're actually documenting this stuff, and it's in the movie. Do you know? Okay, so, well, you know, that's just a coincidence. It ain't no coincidence. Guess who wrote the movie? The movie was written by a medical doctor. I forgot the guy's name. I should have broke the guy's name. But I went, and what happened was, they have the little small paperback book out also, too, which will give you 8 times as much as the movie. The little $4 paperback book, Extreme Measures. Come to find out, the movie is written by this particular doctor, and Elizabeth Hurley, who is the woman that's the boyfriend, the girlfriend to Hugh Grant. They decided to come in, and she put the money up to produce it, or either she came and knew a couple of people. When you produce a movie, you don't use your own money. You just produce it, just go out and get money for the movie. So she put the money up to produce this movie, but it's based off of a medical doctor's book, Extreme Measures. It was on the damn bestsellers list for a whole year. So the key, what I'm trying to say here is this. This particular medical doctor is the person this is the doctor that if he's not experimenting because he's in the doctor's community, he knows of the people that is experimenting on black people. So all he has to do is come in and write this movie and just change it from the black people to homeless people and put a little bit of white people up in there, and you got it. You see what I'm saying? Now, it wouldn't be, it would still be, oh yeah, you still just grasping for straws here, but what are the odds of a medical doctor? You see? And so they got this new thing now, they call it medical horror, or medical suspense, where they're getting ready to go in and show all this shit these damn Nazi doctors is doing. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing but a carryover from World War II. But it's just on your ass now with the concentration camps. You see what I'm saying? So they do all of this particular stuff that's more advanced now. You see what I'm saying? And they're putting it in these books and they're making these movies. You see what I'm saying? So the key is, but this is, now let's try to, we're going to have to brainstorm here because we're going to have to try to understand something. Look at the magnitude of this. This is not World War II where you actually have a public acknowledgement of the people taking these so-called Jews off and putting them in concentration camps. What we have here that's going on that makes this worse is the masses of the people don't even suspect this is happening until you end up in the concentration camp and actually be the victim. And that's the damn what the movie was talking about. The only reason why he found out is 2 people escaped. And the whole shit chain of action, he was investigating, and they end up setting his ass up. The cops put put cocaine in his house, and he ended up getting set up his damn self. It's the same stuff. So this is a key movie that you must go see because it is actually documented. Another key thing is this. If you look at go back and look at any pictures from the turn of the century, any pictures from the turn of the century, which means that the bulk of your race at that particular time was mostly and mainly dark-skinned people. Although you had a lot of light-skinned people, but a light-skinned people was fairly a minority, or a person that you would be considered, some people consider you dark, which you are the average tone now, or this brother would be the average tone now, which would be the model now. But the model, the masses of the model in the United States was something like this sister's color back here. You see what I'm saying? Or something like this sister's color back here. That would be the model. That is the exception now. That's not the norm anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're talking about is this. If the turn of the century, that this sister would be the model, and she's considered light in most circles compared to the African. If you were the if you were the model in the turn of the century, and this is supposed to be after slavery, we want to know what happened to that whole place, that whole, what you say, post-slavery race that's gone now. That means that in actuality, they have literally, from the last, let's say the last 100 years, they have literally, let's say 130 years, 1865, 1965, 131 years, they have actually came in and wiped out a whole dark-skinned race of people. And we are the leftover of that. You understand what I'm saying? But like I told you before, there was not a hanging unless they had a barbecue grill, because they ate a lot of those. You see what I'm saying? So now the movie actually bears witness that the white rat theory, that is not even white rat theory. 98% of all stuff, all medicine that we have now, pharmaceutical medicine that we have now, was done by human subjects. You understand what I'm saying? Unfortunately, for the last 31 years, we have been the human subjects. See, the argument in the movie was that we don't mind you doing this, but you can't do it with human subjects. Guy said, oh, fuck that, rats take too long. So the key is, most of the medicine that they put out, even the rat was a decoy. Most of the medicine that is made in the United States has been made from human subjects, and we have been at the damn bulk of that. It's been at our expense. You understand where I'm coming from? So it's interesting. So we got a whole dark-skinned race of people that's gone. And the reason why I know this, because you can go to any form of the Caribbean. You go to Jamaica, and you go to several places, even though they have light-skinned people in Jamaica, and they have light-skinned people in the Caribbean. If you notice, they still have an element where the masses of the people are darker-skinned people. You see what I'm saying? If you go to India, you go to Bahamas and stuff, you will see an element where the bulk of them are darker-skinned people. You won't see a whole room full of dark-skinned people here in America. That's impossible now. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas you can go there and you can have the majority of the room will be dark-skinned people, and then you would have a few people, you would have a great group that would be light-skinned. You understand what I'm saying? But the majority of those people would be dark-skinned people. Same thing with the American Indian. Why is it now that you see the damn American Indian, every time you see him, they're showing you some white man with some damn long black hair with a fucking wig on? Whereas 98% of all, well, 100% of all pictures taken during the time of the damn great massacre of the West was dark-skinned people. Black as you and I. But how is it that you see what I'm saying? So we understand, we say, well, they wiped out those people. We can see that about the Indians. We're saying that the same thing has happened to us, too. You see what I'm saying? Whereas now they show you some Indians, they go on a reservation, and everybody up there looking like fucking Saks Fifth Avenue, looking like England and shit. Talking about they're Native Americans. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm just saying, but I'm just talking about the color of them. You see what I'm saying? The color would be different. That means you got a whole entire race that's gone. You see? It's interesting. So now this CIA thing with the drug thing, and they got all the people up in there, that's all designed. Because now you know now, it's the Senate, now they're saying they're going to cooperate, and so now they're going to come out with a few things. They had a white man on TV today, one white boy, they found today, they just found this cracker today. He's saying, and I knew about it 5 years ago, because I did some research and I did some stuff, and I knew about it 5 years ago, and this is a big-time cracker. So now they come out with this stuff, and so what it is now everybody going to jump on the bandwagon. You know, Dick Gregory and all them getting thrown. I Dick Gregory knew about the shit before. He said it back in the damn 80s this was happening. But if you knew this in the damn 80s, what the fuck you doing up in D.C. now, because the cracker done said it? See, this is the insanity. So now they're ready to come out, and this is going to be the big thing. And what's happening is anytime they come out and start doing shit heavy like this is because they're getting ready to do this extreme measures even more. You see what I'm saying? Even more. I went back to Vine City yesterday. No, the other day. We're talking about Vine City, which I used to live in Vine City. The entire community is wiped out. And I'm saying black people don't have that kind of money to do a mass migration where a whole community just up and leaves. Only people staying up in there now is a few little people had old people. You know, they was killing off them. But the majority of them is new people with new houses that they built. But we're talking about complete streets gone. They don't relocate people like that. You see? That means they did the same thing with a whole black community. Vine City and the majority are past Simpson. That whole area is abandoned houses. That means that they have come in under the nose of our people and literally, well, under the nose of the idiots, which we call the black bourgeoisie that don't give a fuck about nothing no way, that make jokes about the so-called soulful ghetto people. They have come in under our nose and have cleaned out a whole community. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm talking, but I'm actually visualizing this. You got to understand the magnitude of this shit we talking about here. You understand what I'm saying? To understand, my God, the stuff that's on the movies is only a damn drop in the bucket of what these crackers are actually doing. You see what I'm saying? So they've come in and it's funny now. It's funny because now we got shit. Now I got some news last week that some of these goddamn churches is in on this shit. Yeah, the damn Vine City, come to find out that half the houses that was bought up in Vine City, or so-called bought up in Vine City, was bought up by a group called the Vine City Housing Ministry, based on some damn black churches, which we know that they can control our people, that our people might not even know nothing about it. But under the guidelines, or under the people who finance the church, they can come in and they're putting people in concentration camps. And they're using this church as a front piece. Or when you come and say, well, what happened to all these people? Oh, they say, well, the Vine City Housing Ministry, a group of black churches bought up the damn land. You see? So they can come to the group of black churches and actually give them the finance to buy up the land, because as a front piece, but the whole time they have come in and wiped out the land. So they say, we got these vacant houses. So they'll come in and say, well, you know, we're giving you the finances to buy out this stuff and start this little black business. You see what I'm saying? So when you ask, what happened to all these people? They say, oh, the Vine City Housing Ministry is the one. That's the black church is the one that bought up all this land. So they're using the black churches just like they use the black churches to put us in the census put us in the census in the early turn of the century. They didn't have a census on black people until all the damn black preachers registered all the people. You see what I'm saying? Registered all the people. So they can use these people. You see what I'm saying? They can use these particular people as a front piece. It's like a damn laundering business. You see what I'm saying? And this is what's going on right now. So the churches is into this. Now, the new shit is this. They came on TV last week. They said that the poverty among black people has fallen. The lowest it has been since 1959. Now, we know damn well that there ain't no jobs. You had more jobs in 1959 than you have now. You know what I'm saying? You had people that had all kind of positions. You know what I'm saying? Hell, it's hard to even work in a damn kitchen now. You know what I'm saying? So now, we know that the jobs is gone. We know that with the Reaganomics, it had more homeless people than the country has ever seen. Now, wait a minute. Now, let's think of this shit now. This is the way they fooling people. They have produced the greatest homeless that the country has ever seen. And the only reason why you are not reminded of the homeless now, because they done came in and put them motherfuckers in concentration camp, and they're making melatonin pills out of them. Okay. So now, if we know there's no jobs, you see, and I don't know, I haven't worked on a job, a legitimate job since 1989. But I know damn near 10 years of college, the last time I just tried to go out and get a bullshit job so I can pay rent, I damn near caught hell. You know what I'm saying? I damn near caught hell. Like now, it's like every place else. Atlanta didn't used to be this way, but now you can lose a damn job. It might take 3 months to get a new one. You see what I'm saying? So I damn near caught hell trying to get a bullshit job. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, there are no jobs, but if there are no jobs, how in the hell can poverty fall the lowest it has been? 29.5%. How is that? Because now they're saying that basically they're telling you the truth. The people that was in poverty no longer exist. So therefore, the poverty has fallen, the lowest it has ever been. Now let's look at the magnitude. We got to go back and think a minute now. Listen, they came in and say that the poverty has fallen the lowest it has been since 1959. Yet in 1959, 1960, you had the unemployment rate was not as big as what the hell it is now. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, one minute they talk about we spending too much money in welfare, affirmative action. We can't do the health care, and we are running out of money. The country going to be broke. The country, and we already know, the conscious people know the country been broke since the 1950s, right? So now, what they're actually saying, that in actuality, that the people in poverty no longer exist. So it's not saying that poverty has fallen. They're saying that the people in poverty have fallen off the planet and became so low now since 1959 have actually died. And these are the way they say things. You see, these are the way they say things. You see what I'm saying? So now, look at this. They even bear witness to it in the scriptures. You see, the Bible, you got to trace this thing down, because when you're dealing with the Bible, you're dealing with a very bastardized book. Although we prove that there's wisdom all through it, but it's damn near like connect the dots. It's in fragments. And so we're talking about years and years of people coming in and carving up shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go deep into the scriptures. So now, the original scriptures of the Bible is the first four gospels, or the complete gospels. This is the one coming from, this comes from, the guy is Robert J. Miller is the editor. And these are the complete gospels. So anytime you get, if you want to deal with the gospels to compare to your Bible, always get the ones that say the New Jerusalem Bible. You will see some of those. Or you can get this book, the complete gospels, which is only talking about first four gospels, because one of the first four gospels, which is what? Matthew, Mark, John, and Luke. You see what I'm saying? But in here, they're going to add other ones, the book of Q, the gospel of Thomas, the gospel of James, the gospel of the Savior, the gospel of Mary. You see what I'm saying? Now, what is this? I'm going to explain this thing to you. So if you want to get the real ones, anytime you see that book with that line down the middle of the page, that's not the one you want. That means that they done carved up some shit. The one you want to get is this one, the complete gospels. It's, this one costs, you'll find this book in any of the stores. They're going to have some in here. But you can find this book in any of this Pole Bridge Press. But it's the complete gospels by Robert J. Miller. Now, there's a section in here to bear witness to all of this that's going on. Now, to read the Bible, we come to find out that 98%, all of the damn Bible, is now. Never happened in the past. You see, somebody took some scriptures that was all mystical and prophetic and wrote it, historicalized it. And that's what's fucking up everything. We're going to get deeper into that tonight. Look, this is the part of Matthew that I want to read. And it says this. And this is in Matthew 17. You can get this right out of your Bible. Matthew 17, verse 4 to 25. Matthew 17, verse 4 to 25. This, fortunately, is right in your regular King James Version. And it says this. It says, the disciples quoted him. They're quoting Jesus. They say that in the light of this, do the scholars claim that Elijah must come first? So they're saying that Elijah must come first. That's what the Jewish nation is on hold now. That's why they all fucked up. They've been looking for Elijah, but they're the fake Jews, so they can't receive the Elijah, but the Elijah came here. That's why they went to Ebony in 1983 and told Ebony, you got to change his name from Elijah to some Wilford Poole or some kind of shit, because they knew that we got the Elijah. Now they say Elijah must come first. And it says, in response, he said that Elijah does indeed come to restore everything. So we're talking about in a period of the 20th century. You see what I'm saying? Because he was born 1897, and so he didn't come until 1931 when he got the actual teaching. You see what I'm saying? Now, so some people don't believe this shit. Well, listen. The scriptures say that Elijah must come. In Egypt, they say Tahuti must come. You see what I'm saying? In Hebrewism, it's Enoch, or it's John in Christianity. It's Elijah. It's Enos also that must come. In different cultures, there's supposed to be a forerunner to the Christ that was supposed to come and set shit straight. So now, whether we say we don't believe that or not, well, hell, if this is going into the year 2000, even when the Christians say that the Christ is coming, and if we are just going to take the Christian scripts, that means that Elijah had to have come to restore the nation. He had to do it more than 4 years. You see what I'm saying? So obviously, we can bear witness that that was the one because it says in all ones that it would be a forerunner. Now, this is what it says. Elijah does come and to restore everything. But I tell you that Elijah has already come. So now, this is the future. Whoever is speaking right now in the future. And when we say speaking, we're talking about the knowledge that we are receiving now. That's the speech. Is the book that you're getting, because we wrote the books years ago for you to pick up now. You got it? Now it says this. Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him. Oh, damn, that's true. This person came. We didn't recognize this person as no biblical Elijah. You see what I'm saying? The Islamic people recognized him as a heretic based on Orthodox. You understand what I'm saying? But remember now, the Messiah script, the Messiah text, which is the Jewish Messiah text, that book Raphael Patsy said when he comes, he's going to come posing as an Arab, which means Islam, not them the white Arab. They say he's going to come in. When he comes in the future, he's going to be disguised as an Arab. Now this is the Hebrew scriptures, which is more authentic than the fake Jewish, the fake Christian stuff. We're going to get into this now. Y'all bear with me, but I want to put this down. Look, and they say he has already come. So we're talking about somewhere now. So he's already come. Well, when did he come? He came in 1931 to 19. Well, he came in 18 something. But we'll say that when he came into the knowledge, that's when they talk about. Whenever you only live when you come into the knowledge of self. You understand? So otherwise, you're just a bump on the wall. So he came in 1931. When he came into the knowledge, 1931 to 1975. So they say he's already come. Hell, this is damn near 20 years after he's gone that we're reading this. Say he's already come. Now look at this. And they did not recognize him. And the sons of Adam are also going to suffer at their hands. They said that when Elijah came, whoever they were did with him as they pleased. Which means, you know, on our part, we didn't believe half the shit, so that's some old crazy shit. The white man did what he did to him as he pleased, because he's the devil, so you know what I'm saying, by keeping him out of the way. But they, like I said, they knew he came because in 1950 they gave him a motorcade down Washington, D.C., a congressional parade that they don't let you know about. That's also in the Theology of Time. Now listen, look at this. They said that they did not recognize him. They said, but the sons of Adam are going to suffer at their hands. Now what do they mean by that? They mean that when they're saying that basically what I told you when he was on the podium in 1973 and he was speaking, and then all of a sudden he saw a vision and he said, oh God, it hurts me to see what they're going to do to you. That means he's looking in the future and he's seeing the concentration camps now. In this particular part in Matthew 17 verse 4 to 25, they say because of his coming and both us not recognizing him and both the white boy doing with him as they please when they did the whole thing with the Malcolm thing, based on that, they say that the sons of Adam are going to suffer at their hands. Their hands is talking about the doggone powers that be. So, first of all, we didn't really fuck up because it was already destined that we was going to not recognize him, because they say that he comes at a time when light shines in the darkness and the darkness comprehends it not, or they would reject knowledge. So right in Matthew, they're actually talking about that. They're actually talking about that particular part, which the suffering at their hands is AIDS, Ebola, concentration camps, crack cocaine, and black insanity at an all-time high, and black self-hatred at an all-time high, where they give you their woman, the white woman now. You see what I'm saying? And they're suffering at the hands. And that's very interesting that with this particular part in Matthew, that they would deal with that particular part. Now, Now, let's deal with some things. We're going to go right ahead so we can go get into this particular part here, because I want to say a couple other things. Number one, like I said, to understand your story, you got to rent that movie, The Never Ending Story. And when you see, they put it out in children's movies because they know adults ain't going to never see it. And the little boy, what the little boy is going through, come to find out that the whole adventure that he was going through was in actuality him. It's just the person on the inside of him projecting out. And so the actual story is going on in his small universe, which is in the brain. Which everything that is projecting out here is going on, is predetermined inside of you. And you go through it every day. That's what your dreams are. You see what I'm saying? Also, get the movie Clash of the Titans. Go back and see. It comes on TBS all the time. Clash of the Titans. The guy Perseus, which is a modified word of Perseverant, which is a later word, Parseverant, who is the one who gets the Holy Grail. Get the movie Excalibur. And put yourself in the adventure. So you are Perseus. And they show the gods. They show two realms going on. The gods are putting little toys and say, we're going to do this to person. We're going to put this in his way. We're going to put this in his way. And then they had the mortal realm, which is the earth. And this shit ain't nothing but a big ritual we going through. And that's the way the shit is. The stuff is more of a ritual that you're going to and more of a damn computer game. More of a computer game or a role-playing game more than it is reality. Because you can't make heads or tail out of reality. Long as you're looking with these two ways out. You see what I'm saying? So get the movie Clash of the Titans. Key movie. Clash of the Titans. Excalibur. Key movie. Never Ending Story. Key movie. Key movie. These are movies that you need to get and try to understand your role as you're going. But Clash of the Titans is surely, they just show you bit for bit on what's going on in you. But you just got to put yourself in the role of the Christ. You see what I'm saying? In the role of the actual Christ. And that's the key to the movie and all. Now, the white boy, what he's doing is he give you careers and he awards you. And as long as he's giving you awards, he traps you. It's just like the MARTA bus drivers. What they do is like the MARTA bus drivers. You can be running and the woman can see you on the bus and step on the damn gas. Because you know what I'm saying? So now she's gone, or he, but mainly they do it with a lot of, the reason why I say she, because they got this thing where they condition the sisters. That's why they always pick, most of the sisters that drive the buses are over 40 in their 50s. You see a few young sisters, but not that many. And they can condition them, and a lot of the brothers are older brothers also too. You see what I'm saying? But the brothers is a different type energy that's going on. So this is not talking negative to the sisters, but they can manipulate the sisters a lot. So what they do is they come in and they give them a safe driver patch. Once they give them that safe driver patch, it locks them in forever. It's like a robot. That's like giving them a award, and they won't do anything outside of the rules. So they become non-humane. They see a motherfucker running to the bus in the damn lane, but you know they got a damn spot to pick up. They just keep on going because I'm following the goddamn rules. He wasn't there, I gotta leave. So when they award you, and that's the same thing happened in careers. When they award you with your career, they do this. And why is this? Because they understand, basically, because they study us every day. They understand because you have no culture, none whatsoever. And because you have no culture, therefore your career becomes your culture. Same thing with damn fraternities. That's why black people took fraternities and sororities far beyond what white people did. Motherfucking Q's and shit. Nigga come in there, you know, he just a regular little freshman. He pledged, and all of a sudden he actually personifies the damn Q and start acting a certain way, or a Kappa, or these particular things. Like I said, the other day we saw this sister. She probably been out of college 10 years, but she got a goddamn green car with AKA on. And she actually thinks that actually she's an AKA, like that is a part of her persona. You see what I'm saying? White people, you never really hardly see them after they get out of college, or you never really hardly see them with stuff on. Same thing with white Masons. You don't see them wearing all that shit. Why is that? Because we don't have a culture, we become our career. You see what I'm saying? We become our career. So they put that safe driver patch on there, or they put a gold medal around your neck, or they give you the MTV awards. They always give you an award ceremony, and that locks you in. And that kills your spirit even more. That's why you can't never get our people to do nothing once they go into a profession. Because the profession becomes them, and that means they are no longer black, basically. Although they might say like African American and all that old shit, that's the terminology. You see what I'm saying? So and so that's when the white boy come and say, I don't see you as a black person, Michael Jordan. I don't see you as a black person, Oprah, because she has identified with that particular job. And now when we understand how is it that year after year shit can go on and we still catch hell, is because majority of our people, they have put these careers up in there since it started around 1970. Remember that 1960s, you was fighting for shit. You ain't have but two people, teachers and preachers. You see what I'm saying? That was it. You can only, you know, the teachers college, you can only teach or preach. You see what I'm saying? Then they started giving you more things, you know what I'm saying? On one level, they started giving you, on the blue collar level, they started letting you into, fire department, post office, police department, these type of things. On the other one, on the white collar, they started letting them into IBM and all this type of stuff. So what it did is actually took, it's like a body snatcher. They're snatching members of the race, and once they go into that thing, you see what I'm saying? And once they go into that particular part, they become non-black. And somehow the spirit, because the beast, he fire a few of them, you know what I'm saying? They fall on hard times and shit, and they come back to reality. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's going on, and so this is why our people, they're still locked in this based on these career type things. Now, the new thing is, the stuff that I have just said, okay, on the college campuses, I'm supposed to speak there 2 weeks from now, on the 9th. It was interesting because I was supposed to speak 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks I was supposed to speak, but for some reason they shit the guy on the room and we couldn't get the room. But it's interesting, we was going to go to the lecture that was canceled, and when I turned around and we got on Lee Street going to Morehouse, we felt this negative energy. I'm like, damn, what the hell is going on? I feel a negative energy. And my sister, she felt it too. So she said, I feel it too. But I remember when she first got turned on the mounds and they opened up psychically, they drove up and they said, you better get out of here. The spirit told her, you better get out of here. The energy is very negative. Now, why is this? Because for some reason, when they go to college, and I know this because I've been in college for 10 years, for some reason, they tell you that these are the next black leaders. So the ego is inflated. And so now what you have is, up on the campuses, now everybody's into the revolutionary thing. So now they had, last week I think they had a brother that came and he did a revolutionary election saying, you need to fuck everything that's spiritual. You understand what I'm saying? It's about revolutionary. Now, first of all, about the revolution, that's a damn pipe dream for the simple fact that that's a romanticism, because a real revolutionary, if he was really in revolution, first of all, revolution, what they show you on TV, is different than the way the white people do things. For the simple fact, if you're a real revolutionary, you would know about the things that I talk about, the concentration camps. You would know about these things now, and not 10 years later, still saying, I'm waiting for the white man to jump. So we getting shotguns, we getting rifles, we getting all this shit to wait for the white man to jump. And you don't understand, the white man is covert. He starts his war on you 10 years before and wipe out your whole clan. You see what I'm saying? And so you're still a revolutionary waiting for people to jump, and that's not the way they do stuff now. So the day of we getting ready to fight in the streets is not going to happen that way. Remember now, the TV controls everything that go on there. So every now and then, every month, you will hear some cracker or some black man talk about a race war that's coming on. Oh, we believe there's going to be a race war. That's the diversionary tactic, because as long as they can keep you thinking in the future that there's going to be some stuff, you will never actually tap into what's going on. So all these revolutionaries that's walking around on the college campus, they know nothing about that they have taken 12 million black people and killed them. They don't know nothing about that shit. They don't know nothing about that half the people, 98%, when they start the revolutionary, the government going to make sure that so many clones are going to be up in there. You see what I'm saying? They don't understand that the damn religion that they're going up against, all the white man got to say is, you're a child of Christ, and he's going to get black people to turn against them. So what I'm trying to say is this particular, it's this young egotistical thing that's going on, and the reason why I know this is because I was up there. When I was there, we had just as many revolutionaries, and like I said before, every 4 years you get revolutionaries to talk shit. And then at the end of graduation, they cut the goddamn dreadlocks and go to and get the corporate job, and you never see them no more. And so the ones that's up there now is mild compared to the brothers who were there in '89. You know what I'm saying? We took over buildings. You see what I'm saying? We was raised in hell. Niggas was going and fighting the Ku Klux Klan and going to jail. You see what I'm saying? '92, they was fighting all this here. But what I'm trying to say is that's only something that you do in college, because ultimately nobody ain't going to give up nothing for black people. And so basically they can go and get their groove on in college. You see what I'm saying? And they can go to the white man shit. And so when the black people say, you a damn sellout, they can go, their child say, you a sellout. They can go, no, you don't understand. I did this. When I was in college, we did this and we did that. And that's their revolutionary part, because they have no intentions of sticking with it, because struggle is forever. You see what I'm saying? So now you got this whole thing. So it's a whole new crop of revolutionaries that come up talking about stockpiling, getting guns, and all this kind of shit. You're supposed to start the goddamn revolutionaries in the 70s. I mean, the real revolution in the 70s, before AIDS, before crack. But why is it it's always a damn reactionary when it comes to the real shit? Because the white boy is 8 steps up ahead of us, because we deal on the physical and not the spiritual. And these are things that's actually going on. Now, I mentioned to you the last time that Gandhi was a government agent. Did I mention that to you? About Gandhi being a government agent, which in actuality was under the same government that why Martin Luther King followed that particular pattern is because the government, when they got to him, who was a government agent, they said you follow the Gandhi type thing, as well as your boy that in the spiritual thing they had to get a spiritual guru, and your boy that was a government agent or the British spy was your guy that wrote the book, the autobiography of a yogi, Yogananda, which was also one also too. Now we're dealing with some things we're gonna go right on because we're gonna keep on going right on up. We're dealing with some things. When you deal with more science, like I said, the reason why I said you need to get that cup of destiny and take the white people out of it, because when you're dealing with more science, the more science is that holy grail that they're talking about. But now it's going to be a little better, because when you rent the movie The Excalibur, you can see the actual stuff of the holy grail. And the movie First Night, they give you a little bit of stuff in it. Then when you read the book The Cup of Destiny, and another good book, this is an excellent one here. This is one that is called The Secret Tradition in Arthurian Legend. Also, you know, you're going to rent the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade. But in here they're going to deal with Maryland coming from Atlantis, and basically Maryland was nothing but a black person. You see what I'm saying? So this particular book is going to deal with the Atlantean period. It's also going to quote Rudolf Steiner's book. Did you ever get any of those, Sister Apakiti? Universe, Earth, and Man. Rudolf Steiner's Universe, Earth, and Man. But anyway, he's going to quote in it. But if you got spiritual hierarchies, he's usually repetitive. You know what I'm saying? He usually does the same thing over and over again. Universe, Earth, and Man by Rudolf Steiner. But if you got any more spiritual hierarchies by Rudolf Steiner, you sold out. No, not spiritual hierarchies, cosmic memory. Well, spiritual hierarchies is good. Any Rudolf Steiner's work, he's just so hard to read, you got to really stick with him and all. But in this particular book, they're going to do, his name is Gareth Knight, who wrote this particular book. The Secret Tradition in Arthurian Legend is the one. That's more science. More science. So, more science. Like I told you before, they showed the Moor in Maul, Flanders, which will be coming on video soon. Which is, you know, that's more science. Any science and stuff. The Kabbalah. They're going to tell you the Kabbalah was given to the white man by the Moors. They brought the Holy Kabbalah up and give to the fake Jew, because the fake Jew had converted and stuff. They said, well, we're going to give you some information, so because we know you're going to take it, believing you the Jew, and that way it'll be around for us. So we said, why did the Moors give black people, give the white man all these secrets? They gave them the secrets because they understood that the white man would rule the world, and that's the stuff that we would get now. So by the Moors giving them the Kabbalah, giving them the secret keys of Enoch, no, the secret of the Gotia, the book of Gotia, talking about these spirits, the lesser keys of Gotia. So you got a spiritual realm that is kind of, then you have what is called the lower spirits, lesser spirits. What do they mean by lesser spirits? The lesser key is, if you got a spiritual realm up here that you can't get to, you need to use the lesser keys, the lesser spirits, which is down low enough that they connect with you, and you can connect with the higher spirits. So anytime you see the book of Gotia, you got any more of those keys of Solomon? That book of Gotia. The greater key of Solomon is the book, the keys of Solomon. The lesser key is this Gotia spirits. You see what I'm saying? All that's more science. Which more, they'll tell you, the more, when you see Sufi, they're talking about more. Suf means woolly-haired one. So the more, all that's more science that they're giving them. So your Kabbalah is more science. The Kabbalah came out of Egypt. And the Moors went in and got that particular information and took it to, when they took it to Spain, they had to train all these crackers. They gave them all this particular information. You'll see some stuff called the Enochian spirit. The Enochian spirit. The Enochian spirits is dealing with the god Enoch, but it's these angelic spirits, which is supposed to be very powerful. The Moors left that up into Europe, left this stuff up into Europe, and after they left the stuff into Europe, this guy named John Dees came in and plagiarized all of it and said it was his shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's the Enochian spirits and all. That's also more science. Now, they got a stuff on HBO called Search for Sanity. It's called, you know, they got these HBO documentaries. It's called The Search for Sanity. And they got these white people all crazy. And how they're still giving them these lobotomies drilling into their brains. And they're just showing these tons of white people that's crazy. And I noticed they don't have no black people on the show. If we're crazy, it's based on conditioning. So that's a different type of mentality. But we're talking about, they just show these people in search for sanity, and all these white people are crazy. And they're showing all these white people are crazy and stuff like that. That's in its own right now. That is on right now. Now, did you get any of these? This is Yaqub's History by the Nation of Islam. I think it costs like $3. Did you get any of these, Sister Afrikiti? No. This is the History of Yaqub by Malcolm X, and this is one of his speeches. Yeah, you can get them all, like that, you know, also too. But I think you can. You'll find some distributors and stuff, so that's one you might want to read also too. Also, now they're talking about evolution from apes and stuff. They got a lot of stuff coming on about evolution from apes and the hominid. Remember, now don't get in. That's their history. When they first made, that's why you have to go and see. Oh, okay, Malcolm's. Okay, you got it on audio. Okay, cool. Now they're going to come in. They're going to give you evolution of apes. They're talking a lot about that now. And they're showing all these Piltdown Man, Nubian, what they call it, Grimaldi, and all this kind of stuff. That is not our history. Remember now, if you get Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, remember when they first made Frankenstein, he couldn't talk, or he had to evolve until the person that he became at the end of the movie. You understand what I'm saying? Well, they just gave you one little part on how he evolved in a matter of months. You see what I'm saying? To a year, but in actuality, it took them years to evolve to the person that they are now. You see what I'm coming from? It took them years to evolve to the person that they are now. You see what I'm saying? And basically, basically they borrow the temporary intelligence and stuff. But in actuality, they are vampires. Now there's some stuff on, I got an out-of-print book. And there's some stuff on vampirism. Now what is a real vampire? This is what a real vampire is. Your magical fluid is an elixir of Awas. Now, what does they mean by that? Your magical fluid is an elixir of Awas. Awas is another name for the Christ, another name for Heru, and another name for the ancient black god, Melchizedek. So, if your magical fluid is indeed an elixir of Awas, anytime you hear the word elixir, they're talking about alchemy, so that means your magical fluid is melanin, right? Okay, now listen. For this, you must be one. But for this reason, you must watch out for vampires. They will try to take this sacred substance from you. Now, this is bearing witness to what we're talking about now with the concentration camps. Because I predicted, and it even got past me. I predicted in November of '94 on my Mothership 3 that the concentration camps was going to be mass melanin extraction experiments. You see what I'm saying? And it's funny, a sister saw it, but you got to realize we got to start learning how to interpret channels better. A sister saw bodies stacked up, and she saw people in concentration camps in '94. But she saw it physically on top out here in the public. And it threw people off, so because we didn't see it, we thought it would be something in the future. But a lot of times when you get channels, a lot of times they are going on now. You just got to interpret them. You see. But I said there's going to be mass melanin extractions. And 6 months later, they came out with the melatonin pills in '94. You see what I'm saying? They came out with the melatonin pills in '94. Now listen. They say they will try to take this substance from you. This is why you must use your will to attract those of high vibrations. You see what I'm saying? Now, and one thing that means also that you can't be fucking around with crackers. You see what I'm saying? Although you got dead black people, they are of a higher vibration than white people. You see what I'm saying? So, one level, you can't be fucking around with this beast, because these beasts can take your melanin by your energy, especially, like I say, through sex. You see what I'm saying? They will come to you because Awas, they say they will come to you because Awas is your master, which is a form of the Christ. You see what I'm saying? So what it means is here, these are vampires. So the real vampire will take your melanin through temporary. They take your melanin. First of all, they take your energy when they touch you. That's why you see some white people when they get to know you, they want to touch all over you. And, and I know a lot of people, when they first got dreads, you see a lot of dreads now, but white people will come up and want to touch your goddamn dreads. Or they'll come up and want to touch your hair. That's because they're taking your energy from you. They're vampires. So they can take that kind of energy by touching you. You see what I'm saying? By touching you. Another way is the ones that know. The other ones, when they get around your energy, it turns into racism. They reject against you because, two damn objects might not attract each other. You got different metals that polarize from each other. You know what I'm saying? So, but the ones that know, they come and try to take your energy. That's one way. Another way is through sex. Another way is basically getting so bad now that they just got to basically snatch you, take your whole body and take the parts out and make substitute. And that's the reason why they had to crush the mummies up, and they've always been eating us. You see what I'm saying? They've always been eating us for years. It's because they are the vampires. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they're talking about here. You see, vampire does what? Tries to suck your blood. What is blood? Blood, the liquid blood is only a fraction of what's in you as the melanin is throughout your whole blood system. You see what I'm saying? So this is what vampires really is. You see what I'm saying? So this whole thing that's going on now is in actuality, now it's funny. You see how the spirit is? It's funny because I'm always observing things. We said that they came out with the melatonin pills in '94. In the summer of '94, the same year that the melatonin pills came out, the metaphysical books stores started getting in at least 10 or 20 books that's been released within the last 3 years on vampires. They got all kinds of books on vampirism. Vampire this, vampire that. And these are not like story books and stuff like that. These are metaphysical books talking about vampires. But we know that the other one, then in what, 94, the fall of '94, the movie Interview with a Vampire comes out. You see what I'm saying? This year you had the movie From Dusk to Dawn came out. You see, they are the vampires and they're trying to suck the blood of us. And remember now, and it's interesting. Now in the movie Interview with a Vampire, they said that the best blood is that of a Creole woman. When they came on damn HBO, they cut that out. So they even cut shit on HBO. You see. They cut it when he said, oh, but the best blood is that of a Creole, which basically, they couldn't say black, so they said Creole, which shows it's still a black person. To show you the best, they talk about melanin. And they are the damn vampires. And that's the key. What the whole thing now is basically vampires against real people. And that's the whole shit that's going down now with the concentration camps. Check. Okay. So also, I want to say this because some brother, get on top of this, because some brother jumped up in Philadelphia and told me, well, brother, didn't we sell people into slavery in Egypt? Sell people into slavery? No, didn't the Africans sell us into slavery here in America? And there's a good book, Donald Redford's book, Akhenaten the Heretic King, and in that particular part, and I should have brought it and give you the page number, they talk about, in there they talk about a slave that was a guy that was sold into slavery in Egypt, which in actuality, it was nothing but a POW, a prisoner of war. And that prisoner of war was able to go and do his little bit of duties with about a year or so, do his duties for the person that he was serving, as far as, stuff around the house or, whatever. And then after he got through, the guy gave him his daughter to marry and gave him his whole inheritance. So now, that's a different kind of slavery than the one that they're talking about. You see, that's dealing with, I mean, we also know that our people had no way of knowing that this was going to happen to us, otherwise they wouldn't have dared done it. They was thinking on a POW, prisoner of war, and they didn't understand the concepts of slavery on what the white man was going to do to us. You see, on what the white man's going to do to us. But it's interesting because they always tell you stuff in movies. There's a movie, I'll have to get the name for it because I got it in a TV guide. It came on last Sunday. There's a black and white movie that came on AMC with Spencer Tracy that supposedly was going to Africa to hunt down this doctor that was doing he was doing these studies of the people in Africa. Real derogatory thing about how Africans have never had knowledge or whatever is the darkest place. So when they say dark Africa, the dark continent, they're not talking about black people. They're saying dark people, dark continent, they're saying because it's supposed to be the most ignorant place in history, savage, dark as far as no knowledge, which we know that they're changing shit around. So when they say that, we know that they're talking, that's when they say dark continent, they say dark continent now. You'll see them talking about the dark continent. You just think they're talking about black people. No, they were talking about ignorant, which we weren't ignorant. They were just, that's the way that they say things. But in the movie, this is the late 1800s now, they show Arab slavers still got people into slavery. You see? And it documents that this slavery, if it went on in the late 1800s, it went on up until now. So now you got the hell with the Nation of Islam if they don't know that they got damn slavery in Sudan, Mauritania, you understand what I'm saying? And throughout Arab countries, including goddamn Arabia. They got physical slavery going on, not since 1980 like some of them, going on now. Because they can't doggone distinguish Islam, you're going to sit up here and talk junk. These doggone places do have slavery going on. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff is documented in that particular movie, as well as the movie I also told you that was documented. You need to get the movie Quickly Down Under that documents the massacre and the Holocaust of black people. Of black people in Australia. You see, so black people in Australia. So anyway, when you read about Jacob in the Bible, Jacob comes from the word Jack, or Kak, which means the black one, Kakshidi, Jacob, which means the black body. So when they say Jacob sold into Egypt by his brothers, it's not talking about Egypt for 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, because slavery never happened in Egypt. So when they say Jacob sold into Egypt by his brothers, they're talking about now when the Africans sold the black man into America. You see. So now A&E and these particular ones on cable is now coming in. They're still trying to historicalize biblical prophecies, and none of that shit ever happened. You see what I'm saying? Bear with me, because we get ready to go into the God is the devil in a few minutes, and also too. So when they do that too, we need to cut on the light so I can read a little bit too. Also too. Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. I will. I just say, we'll just work from back and forth and stuff. Yeah. Also too, so I can read some too when I do some stuff. Also, so that when they say Jacob selling the people into Africa, that's talking about now, and that was talking about the last 300 years on what happened. Was Jacob was sold into Africa. So Jacob was sold into Egypt by his brothers. That's the black man sold into bondage in America. Now remember now, it's funny now how the Bible comes up and tell you all this shit about Egypt and bondage and all this shit, and they don't, and everything is always Pharaoh, Pharaoh, Pharaoh. Pharaoh just means great house or king. So that's like saying king, king, king. So they telling you this shit is a lie from the get-go. Or either they telling you it's prophetic because it can be any king. In this case, they're talking about America. Because they never give any names. They said one name about Ramesses in Genesis or in Exodus, and people thought that was but basically it's Pharaoh, 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 Pharaoh. You understand where I'm coming from? That's because they're not trying to tell you that it's a Pharaoh of back then. Their Pharaoh just means king, and they're talking about now. That's the key to it. So when they say Jacob sold into Egypt by his brothers, sold into Egypt by his brothers, or sold into bondage by his brothers, they're talking about the black man and black woman that's here now being sold into bondage by the Africans. And they say what happened? Jacob became favorable to the Pharaoh because he could interpret dreams. That's in the Bible. So that meant that you had melanin, and the Pharaoh needed Jacob to interpret dreams. So they're talking about the white man now use our energy to keep his civilization afloat. Because damn sure they weren't talking about no Egyptians needing nobody to interpret no dreams, because they was a master of damn science. You see? So when they say that Pharaoh became Joseph became Pharaoh and became royal, they're also talking about black people using their energy to give to the white man, and the white man basically putting them in the house as the house Negroes. And basically that's the role of the black bourgeoisie. They have used our energy and our knowledge and our skills and our talents to keep their civilization afloat, and they give them a segment of us They put us in the big house, but that segment is the headpiece of us that is supposed to help all of us, but they separate them, and so the rest of our people just wither away. So very key when you read the Bible. This is just another thing to tell you, if you're going to read this stuff, read it in the future. You see what I'm saying? Read it in the future. Now, we got to start dealing with alternative surgery. This is very important for you. Not the masses, because the masses ain't never did nothing but died, and because if a person is dead, a person don't need to do one thing anyway, leave the body so they can get some knowledge. So death ain't nothing bad. Death is actually good for a mug to just walking around a zombie. He's dead anyway. So you might as well be a spiritual being because you don't die, you understand, other than being a fool down here in bondage. So death is actually good for a lot of our people. You see what I'm saying? Although we do say we just looking at how bad the white man is. But you know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. We got to start using the gods or the orishas or what we call the spirits as alternative surgery. Healing, but alternative surgery and everything else can be healed by using the gods. In the book Universe, Earth, and Man by Rudolf Steiner, he explains that the Egyptian god used to take a sick body that needed surgery. They could cure things, you know, sickness, you can cure things through herbs. But more severe things that they needed surgery, they never cut on people like we thought. That was later. Although they did do some parts of surgery, it was very minor compared to the white man cutting you open and doing things now. But they understood because there was two realms, the stuff that they couldn't, that they needed to use, the stuff that they didn't necessarily want to cut on somebody. They just take a person in the temple and call on certain deities that would come in and do operation. And they could prepare the body without all these stitches and all this kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? You got some tissue, some more tissue, and stuff. So this is a way that they would do things also too. This is stuff that we need to do now, is as far as using the spirits as certain alternative surgery. You see what I'm saying? Certain alternative surgery. There's several ways, there's so much stuff on healing now. Until there's no reason to be cut open, there's no reason to really die off anything. You understand what I'm saying? Although death wouldn't be so bad in this day and age, because it's not a transformation. Check. Also, you know that it's very significant that things are going on, because now remember now they're getting ready to celebrate the 2,000 year of Israel this November. And remember when Israel 2,000 years ago, there was no such thing as a white Jew. You see what I'm saying? So they're getting ready to celebrate this 2,000 years this November. So therefore, we're talking about something spiritual significance. Now, some people say, well, you know, you've been giving these dates and all this kind of thing here, but remember, I had to even learn when I would ask the questions, why didn't this go on and why did this go on? And the spirits would come in and say, it did go on. It just didn't go on the physical realm, because the physical realm will not be here. It went on in a certain amount of energy that went on. It went on either as an initiation in your body, you understand what I'm saying, or initiation in another dimension, which in actuality still goes back to the innermost regions of your subconscious, which is a whole nother arterial universe. You see what I'm saying? And a parallel universe that is inside of you. So these things did go on. A lot of this stuff did go on. It just didn't occur on the physical. There's a good book to get. It's a book called, let me get the name of this book. A book, I found the Ultimate Ritual book. Let me see if I can find the name of this book. I think I got a list of books. I think the name of it is, let me see if I can find the name of this thing. Ritual Magic is the name of this book. Ritual Magic by, his name is Donald, what's the name of that guy's name? Donald Tyson. The one is called Ritual Magic, Ritual Magic, How to Do It. In the book, it's going to tell you what to expect from magic and what not to expect from magic. Now, the reason why I chose this book, because they got a lot of magic books, they're real intellectual. This book is simplistic, where he don't treat a subject no more than 2 or 3 pages, but he uses, but he'll go into the Sufi, he'll go into the Vodun, he'll go into the Egyptian, he'll go into the Kabbalistic, where he's a Jewish guy, and he was fair where he tried to deal with all types of magic and a lot of African stuff. He deal with the Orishas, he deal with all of it. And he tells you what not to expect and what to expect. So this is the stuff with him.
Is that the one, the thick one with the pictures, or the little thin one with no pictures in it?
It has pictures in it. It's got a little white girl sitting on the cover with she drew a circle with the hexagram with the 5-pointed star. She got a candle out there, and it says ritual magic, what to expect and what not to expect. And so it's one of the most simplistic ones, because we need to do that particular stuff. Just to read the book, just to understand a certain amount of things. Because a lot of stuff you can do with your mind. You don't have to do a lot of ritual. You can do it with your mind. But the main thing of light is to try to understand certain things on what needs to be done. And so that it's a book called Ritual, which is a very good book. And what was that? You remember that part, Osiris, the other part of Osiris that you found? What was that? Deuteronomy? No. Ezra and Daniel. You remember the one? You know the section?
Daniel 9:1, and I think Ezra 4:6.
Ezra 4:6, where they give the name, and that's in the first sentence of the shit. Esther 4:6, right?
No, the whole book.
Whole book of Esther, but they give it in the first part of you told me about the first part of Esther. Was that the one you told me about?
The whole book of Esther.
Whole book of Esther. But what was the part? Was it Ezra 4:6, the one that you said that? The first part, they give this name, and it's a name for Osiris.
It's in all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Okay, all 3 of them. So which is
All through the book of Esther.
all through the book of Esther. You know, and also, you remember now, I gave you the ones here. Osiris, Exodus 6, A-S-S-I-R, Exodus 6:24. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 6, chapter 6, verse 7, 8, and 22. And chapter 3, verse 17. Also, you get it also, too. In Isaiah, no, it's not in Isaiah, but it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 7, 8, and 22, and also in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17, and also Exodus chapter 6, verse 24, which they give you the word Osar too, also in the Bible also too. So when Adalabroth messed up the Bible, they say Sophia came back in and kept putting a certain amount of keys, which we're getting ready to head up and getting into this particular part right now in a few minutes also too. That particular part. So now it's funny because I read up on something where they talk about in one particular book, I think it was an Egyptian book, they said that the word human came from the word O-O-M-A-N, which came from the word O-W-M-A-N. The word human means woman. The word human means woman. So at one time, there was no such thing as male in the aspect of what we talk about. It was the aspect of a masculine woman and a feminine woman. The woman masculine is one with a penis, which is the positive, and the woman feminist is the one with the vagina, which is negative, to pull in. So we talk about spirit, and we still talk about that feminine energy being spirit also too. The feminine energy being spirit also too. Now, we need to get into some things right now. What's that? Okay, you want to take a 10-minute break in 5 minutes? Okay, 10-minute break in 5 minutes. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into, it's the hour, and when we come back, we're going to get into, I got a lot of books and stuff I'm going to introduce to you today. But when we come back, we're going to get into, I got a lot of stuff, lot of good stuff in here. That we're gonna give you a whole lot of bibliography today also too. But when we come back, we're gonna get into is the God that you worship the devil? We're gonna go into a whole history of that, so don't miss that. But we had to get the current events out the way also too, because this is beautiful. Now we're actually seeing this shit come down, because the same things that we see, the same things that I said on the radio know about them snatching them bodies, invasion of the body snatchers. The white man came out with a movie Friday, Extreme Measures is done by this doctor. And for some people that want to do more study, you need to get the book. And come to find out, this cracker got other books. He got previous books that you can get for $4 of other things that went on, so you can actually have a record of what the things that these crackers are doing to us based on this white boy's books. But the book, I know the one, Extreme Measures is the book that he made the movie, so I do know that one. But he has 2 other books out before that that has all kind of conspiracies on what the hell the doctor been doing. Damn, you don't have a newspaper, do you? Just get the newspaper. You don't have the day's paper, nothing, do you? Because if you get the day's paper, they say it's based on a novel by this particular certain person. Yeah, we'll get the paper and we'll get the author's name of the actual book. But you can just go get the Extreme Measures book, and they have this particular stuff. Also, like I said, rent the movie The Harvest, which is talking about the parts, as well as Silent Green, which is talking about how they was eating humans and all that type of stuff too. All that particular stuff. As well as your movie, what you call it, is talking about cloning, Jurassic Park. They put the dinosaur up in there to throw everybody off. Multiplicity, yeah. But Jurassic Park really gave you the science behind the cloning. You see, them really gave you the science behind the cloning and stuff. The oldest tradition, or the oldest tradition in the country or in the world, is the Typhonian, and that's why I'm gonna set this up and then we're gonna take a break. And the Typhonian or the Draconian. So you'll hear white people saying, "Oh, that is very draconian," which means that's very old. But yet they won't tell you nothing in history about the Draconian. But yet they will give you this thing about, they will equate things, and then most scholars will equate things that is very draconian, which means that's so damn old. Your views are very draconian. So how is it they're going to give you a word in the dictionary, draconian, that means something that's very old, but yet they won't show you that there was something called the Draconian dynasties or the Typhonian cults of Egypt, which is the stuff that predated the monumental Egypt. The Typhonian tradition matured, declined before even the monumental phase of the earliest civilization. This is witnessed in fragments of magical lore of once current in Egypt and the Far East. The tradition lingered on and became corrupt by passages and epics of a gradual attrition to the old age lineage of initiates, which it says is by writings forced to seek temporal power at the expense of intemporal space, transcending knowledge and sifting a spark that fuel the offsprings of ancient wisdom. So what it is that we're going to get into at this particular time, they're saying that certain knowledge was abused. And we understand when this knowledge was abused based on a dollar broth coming in at all times, and which we're going to explain in a few minutes. So what we're going to do is, it's time to take the break. When we come in, we're going to get into this stuff here. This is a lot of stuff, and this is some amazing shit. You're going to find out when we come back. I'm going to give you some fragments that was dug up in 1945. That is the real stuff. And everything that Jesus taught in the Bible, the real shit say go against. Everything that God said you're supposed to do, you're supposed to do the opposite. So we're going to come back and we're going to get into this stuff. Don't be scared, but we got to accept it as it comes. So we didn't even start the lecture yet.
Levels dropping, but it came on at 3 in the morning, not during the week at 5 o'clock. And that's the first time they showed people.
all the so-called civil rights madness to this day. You see, that really messed us on up. So basically, it was under the same system, but they used it to do with Gandhi. It was under the same doggone system that they used with Gandhi. It was under the same system that they used with Martin Luther King also, too. Yeah, they used with him, too. So Martin Luther King was one, as a matter of fact, he knew all the whole time what he was doing because he was a Negro Boule. You see what I'm saying? He was a Negro Boule and all. You see what I'm saying? So he knew what's going on. And you know the same damn thing that went on with the Jews in Germany, where you had the Jews that were, the head Jews, they financed Hitler and different things that went on too, and they wiped out the other ones too, and all. You see, we can't feel bad about those Jews because you got to realize this here. Those Jews before World War II, they treated the Germans like dirt because they were people that had a history. They had a history coming from Spain. They didn't have an ancient history because they was converted into Judaism in Spain. It had nothing to do with the real Hebrew. But those particular Jews get Arthur Koestler's book, The 13th Tribe, to deal with the Jew, the origin of the white Jew. That particular Jew was very arrogant in Nazi Germany, and they treated the Germans like dirt. Huh? You got two down there. Yeah, which is the best book ever written on how that white Jew came about. But they were very arrogant. They treated what's called like peasants, the Germans like peasants. So when the Germans got back their power and stuff, it was easy for them to kill them off and stuff because they remember them was the same Arab crackers. It's the same thing now it's the same thing now if you ever get something, you wouldn't take nothing light on no damn Korean. Or none of them old Hockney mugs that's in the 7-Eleven. Because they treat our people like dogs. You see what I'm saying? They treat our people like dogs and stuff like that also, too. So, that's what happened on that particular thing. You know. So, yeah, okay. I'm on already, yeah, okay. So, let's see. Let me give you some water. Let's see here. Let me explain this to you on what went on. Let me see a few other things first. Let me get some books out to understand some stuff. Let me revamp some of this. Get some other books out. And yeah, somebody got it, but the part in there, they got the advertisement, but the author in there is not the author is the person, but they didn't put the author in the paper. They didn't show the full ad. They didn't show the full ad and stuff. And all. Let me explain this to you, what's going down. Let's break this thing down once and for all. Now there's truth and there's how we feel. And we can't go, and it's too late to go by how we feel because people have died under the lies. People have died under the lies. And so now it's to the point where as we can't treat Christianity with a small teaspoon no more. We got to doggone tell the truth. Tell the truth at the core of it and all. It is a conspiracy to keep this lie going on, and this is the reason why A&E has put out Bible Mysteries of the Bible. It's bad that they don't put out a lot of other. If you notice when they talk about other mysteries of other places, almost archaeological. I don't really get into the metaphysical science or any kind of science of any other religion. Only mysteries of the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Now, we don't say that the Bible is not of an ancient origin, but what we're trying to say is, in this day and time, we understood that the Bible came from some other source. Now, let me give you the history on this, on how this happened. Yeah, but people, okay, yeah, let's take one of these, yeah. This is what happened. You don't have thrice greatest Hermes, do you? No, because it's out of print. See, it was a 5-volume book. You got you one at the house, right? You got one. It was a 5-volume book, came out, Samuel Wise, in 1992, up until about a year ago, and it went out of print. Thrice Greatest Hermes by G.R.S. Mead. 3 volumes set in 1 volume. They put 3 volumes for $50. But the book you can get is Anna Kingsford and Maitland, Virgin of the World, out of print. Okay, let's do some other cross references. If you can't get Virgin of the World, let's see here. What? That's one, but what we're dealing with here, I'm going to deal with some other stuff. I'm going to give you another one. Another book, I'll give you another one that you need to buy. You need to get some Hermetic. There's a book called Hermetica by Walter Scott. Hermetica by Walter Scott. Those are the straight scripts. But I'm going to give you some other cross references. Now let's go into a bit of history here and understand what went down. Number 1, the Kabbalah was in the Egyptian mystery system. I Ching system that you see in Asia, they studied it right in Egypt. Alchemy, which means Al-Kim, which means the black land or the black people, is in Egypt. The Christ concept or the Christos concept was in Egypt. Every discipline that you have and stuff, your Sufi masters of the Kushite Empire, which goddamn Arabia, excuse the expression, Arabia at one time was nothing but a part of the whole Egyptian dynasty, because there was nothing but black Arabians there, and there's 85% of Arabia right now is black, and they were the ancient Kushite Arabians, which Drusilla Dundee Houston's book talks about the ancient Kushite based on history. But all of your Arabian, and so your Sufi Arabs or your Kushite Arabs are the mystic Arabs. And Muhammad's father was a Kushite Arab. And so the real deal is Muhammad didn't get nothing revealed no more than his damn daddy knew, and all the other black people that was on the damn in Arabia before him. There's evidence of that right now. How the hell he gonna be revealed the Quran, and the Sufis had all of that particular stuff. So what we're trying to say is that the white Arab wants you to believe that all their stuff came in history based on a squabble with them. But in actuality, all they did is went and took ancient black people stuff that was already there. Because like I told you before, Muhammad could not read or write. He was illiterate till the day he died, and Bilal is the one that wrote the doggone Quran, and Bilal was an Ethiopian Kushite Arab from Arabia. So what we're saying is we talk about every knowledge came out of one system, the black African. And that's the whole deal. So the Greeks started ruling in the Ptolemaic period. They went down the Nile and took all the temples and took all the doggone books out of the temples and put it in the Library of Alexandria. And they built this Library of Alexandria. Egyptian people built this Library of Alexandria, and it was the first high-rise. And the high-rise that they had there, which was a high-rise that looked like a building downtown. And they took that, and the white man took those blueprints and built his first doggone skyscrapers from. So we built the first high-rise, and the Egyptian priests did. So now, they took all the books and put in the Library of Alexandria. And then the Greeks had reigned. They came in and literally had all these papyrus rolls, and it was thousands of them. And they carted them off to Greece. And what it is they have some stuff called the Hermetic text. And the Hermetic text is the mystery of alchemy and the metaphysical workings of becoming Christ, which is Greek Christos, anointed one, because the original Greeks were black also too. So when they translated into Greece, it was black people that translated that into Greek. The particular Hermetic text, because there wasn't just no book. See, we can't look at modern looking back into history. We got to somehow look at history was, because when we think, like you see the Quran is the book of Islam, the Bible is the book of this, the Torah is the book of that. They didn't have no one book in Egypt. They had millions of books, and the Book of the Dead is just a pyramid text, but it is one of millions of books. So the Hermetic text, which is the science of becoming God, and the devil said, we got to destroy these people because they're getting past me when we go into this. So the Hermetic text was the science of becoming gods, where they dealt with alchemy. Now, one of the best books, out-of-print book on alchemy that came out in 1980, and I just so happen to have the book, is back out now. It used to be called, the guy's name is Kenneth Rayner Johnson. And the name of the book used to be called The Fulcanelli Phenomenon, the one from 1980. The new book now is under a new title, and it's called The Immortal. Fulcanelli was working around with some alchemy. And the white people, since the Moors introduced alchemy up into Europe, they produced alchemy into Europe because alchemy, somehow they was trying to make this white boy into a higher spiritual being. They was trying to give him a soul, or trying to raise what spirit he did have. They couldn't give him a soul, so they tried to raise what spirit he does have. There's a spirit, there's a difference between a spirit and a doggone soul. Now, in Spain, they gave them all this particular alchemical studies and stuff. And you had the guy Alberta Magnus and all these particular people in alchemy that were studying this. So when you go see Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that's what they were dealing with alchemy. When they are dealing with alchemy, and alchemy is what they did on the original Yakub thing. So now, the key is Yakub was in the junior high school, and he could only make the body and put life into it, but he couldn't make a soul. It's the difference between spirit and a soul. Animals have spirits. You see what I'm saying? But the soul that we're talking about, the soul of God, comes from the original God plane or the Godhead. So Fulcanelli was a cracker that broke some of these particular secrets in the 70s on alchemy in the star system Sirius, using the Quran and using the Bible, the Quran, and ancient Egyptian mystery.